Hey guys, sorry I'm a little bit late with this review of Star Wars Rebels Season 3 Episode 7. I got caught up on a bunch of stuff earlier this week, plus I was also ill. I didn't even get to watch the episode until the middle of the week. This was, as I said, Season 3 Episode 7, Iron Squadron, featuring the return of Grand Admiral Thrawn, which I was very happy about. Plus, there was a really cool Easter egg in this episode that I was not expecting, and that is the Outrider, Dash Rendar's ship. Now, those of you who might be newer Star Wars fans, you might not know who Dash Rendar is, but back during the, back in the day before the Disney purchase, in the old canon, the Legends, which was back then called the EU, there was a book, comic, and video game release called Shadows of the Empire. Those of you who played N64, you might remember the Star Wars Shadows of the Empire video game. And this was like a big deal. It was a story that took place in between Empire and Jedi, featuring a smuggler named Dash Rendar. Well, that was his ship that we saw here. So that was really cool. That was a really cool Easter egg. And seeing Grand Admiral Thrawn show up here and regulate once again, I thought was great. But I gotta admit, I was a little bit disappointed in the fact that we didn't get enough Grand Admiral Thrawn. The story didn't really revolve around him, and I thought it was a little bit of a letdown. I liked the episode because it featured a lot more space action and a lot more space battles than we've seen throughout most of this season, and I liked that about it. I had fun watching it, but when I was done watching it, I kind of felt a little bit empty, not just because the ending felt a little bit anticlimactic, but I also was wondering just how long they were going to keep, I guess, straying away from the main story. And that's one thing that Rebels has struggled with, and I was hoping Season 3 would not go through this, but they've been doing a lot of, for lack of a better term, let's call it filler, even though I hate using that term, where they have all these little side stories, and some of them are pretty cool, obviously. Some of them are just fan service to have, cameos from characters that we're already familiar with, and some of them are used for development. The problem is that they're very hit or miss, and I thought this one was somewhat of a miss, honestly. It was a fun episode, lots of action, but again, it was just not. I kind of want them to steer course again and go back to the main story. I want to see more of Darth Maul. I want to see more of what Thrawn's planning. I want to see more of that. I want them to go back and refocus themselves on the main story versus always taking these, divergent side quests and things like that. I guess they have to do that to pad out the season, but that's not good. You should have material to write in there. At least how you would think that you should. I've noticed they've also tried to make it a habit of introducing a new character every episode, it seems, or at least it seems that way lately, and had this character kind of join the rebellion. The one that joined it this episode was Mart, and we find out that basically Mart is in charge of the Iron Squadron that used to be in control, or used to be controlled by Commander Sato's brother. Now, the Commander Sato thing is interesting, but I gotta be honest, this Mart guy, I just don't care. They didn't do enough to make me care about this character. I am guessing they're going to throw him in and introduce him now, and then later on they're going to have some kind of storyline with him in a later season, or maybe later this season. But as of right now, from this episode, I could care less, to be honest. It was just, he just didn't do it for me. But I mean, you never know. Maybe in the future they'll put him in an interesting storyline or something to where I'll care. Anyways, this episode, Iron Squadron, it was fine, had a lot of space action, like I said. Not the best episode of Rebels, but I had fun watching it. I definitely enjoyed it more than Imperial Super Commandos. I know that one usually gets a lot more love, but I did enjoy this one more. And let's see where the series goes from here. I'm still very invested in watching it because Rogue One's coming out, and I'm wondering if there's going to be any tie-ins to that movie. I mean, there almost have to be some kind of tie-ins. I would certainly hope that they're on the same page with that one. Anyways, thank you for watching my review of Star Wars Rebels. Let me know what you thought in the comments, and I will see you guys later on when I cover the next episode. Talk to you later.